Okay guys, today's workout is a full body workout and we're going to be focusing on pulling exercises. So that's going to be mainly your hamstrings, glutes and back, so all the posterior. And we're going to add in some kind of extra intensity techniques as well, just to make it a bit harder, right?
So the first exercise here is dumbbell RDLs. So we're going to go 4 seconds on the way down. So you're going to be standing out from a wall, and this is just going to help you guide so you can sit the hips back and you're pushing the butt towards the wall, just touching it. So on this, think of hips back, stretch on the way down. Should feel a big stretch in your hamstrings, so just behind the knee, then pushing the hips forward, squeeze the glutes. So you see here my knees are soft, so there's a slight bend in them, but we're really focusing on pushing back at the hips and not the knees. So a lot of people will bend the knees here forward instead of pushing back at the hips. So you're keeping the weight in the heel, nice and controlled, sit back, just till you get a stretch, drive the hips forward, squeeze the glutes. So you're really targeting your hamstrings and glutes here, and we're taking all the pressure off your lower back. So you see my spine is neutral, just letting it come down naturally as the hips sit back. What you can do here is make sure to keep your head down so your chin is tucked down, and then let it follow you down as you come down. So you nearly think of looking for your runners at the bottom. A lot of people keep their head up here, which puts their spine in kind of not the best position. So from this, we're going to move on to a single leg hip thrust. So you're setting up like a normal two-legged hip thrust, then bringing the feet a bit closer together, one leg out in front. Go up, squeeze, control the way down. So your upper back is supported on a step or a bench, whatever you have available. Keeping the chin tucked down, core tight, then tuck the pelvis in underneath, squeeze the glute hard as you can. We're going 10 to 15 reps on each side. So really focus on pushing through the heel here, driving up, squeeze the glute. So this is a hard exercise. I have a dumbbell on my hip for added resistance. If you do just need to use your body weight, you can just use your body weight. So you see by my facial expressions, this will burn your glutes. So really concentrate on driving through the heel, keeping that core engaged and tucking underneath. So you don't want to extend the lower back. Take your time setting up, plant your heel into the ground, control the way down, drive through the heel, squeeze the glute. So you see here the upper body isn't moving. So chin is tucked down, looking forward, keeping that core tight. The upper body doesn't move. We just tuck in underneath from the hips. I'm starting to shake, so if you are, it's completely normal. I think I feel like I'm going to cramp, and this exercise will be a lot harder because of the RDLs that we done first also. So you're going 3 sets of 10 to 15 on each exercise. So the next exercise we're going to do, we're moving into hip thrust. So we're going to do hip thrust with 2 legs now, and we're doing what's called a giant set. So it's going to be 70 total reps. So what you're looking to do here is to do 70 reps in total in as little sets as you can, with small little breaks in between. So this is really going to burn. So that's the kind of goal, is to really get a big burn on the glutes. You can rest as needed. So make sure your feet are in a good position where your heels are driven into the ground. Your knee and ankle should be in line at the top. Keep the upper body tight, chin tucked down, squeeze the glutes as hard as possible. So 70 total reps. Take breaks as needed, but the goal is to try to take as little breaks as possible, small little breathers in between, just to give your glutes a little break and then go at it again. So next exercise is Anderson split squat. So this is a difficult one. You're going to get into a split squat position, and then you're going to put the dumbbell in underneath your leg. And what we're doing here is we're just pulsing. So you see, I'm not fully coming up and I'm not fully going down. We're going to do this for 40 to 60 seconds on each side. So you're really going to feel a burn in the glutes here. Take your time setting up this exercise. So you want to have a solid base. One foot is not directly behind the other. It's kind of back to the right or back to the left. This is just going to help keep your hips square. And you'll see here by my face, apologies. So 40 to 60 seconds on each side. The goal would be to start at 40 and over time get up to 60 seconds if possible. So nice and controlled, halfway up, halfway down. So these are pulses. Really concentrate on feeling this in the glutes, so you're pushing the heel through the ground. These are a lot more difficult than they look. So what we're doing here by not fully coming up or down is keeping tension on the glutes the whole time. So now we're moving on to the upper body. We're going to go with pullovers first. So you're going to use 2 dumbbells. So you're going to be lying on a step or anything just to elevate the upper back. And if you don't have anything, you can just lie on the ground. So you're starting with the dumbbells over your head and then extending back as far as you can, getting a big stretch underneath the armpit. We're going for 10 to 15 reps here, nice and slowly back. You should feel your core engaged as you move the dumbbells back. What you want to focus on is keeping that core tight, not letting the lower back lift up and extend. So as you bring the dumbbells back, what's going to happen is your lower back's going to want to lift up. So just engage your core to stop that happening. You won't be able to bring the dumbbells back as far, but you're still going to get that stretch in underneath the armpit. So we're going for 10 to 15 reps. Don't forget to breathe on each rep. So breathe in as you extend back, core tight, control, and drive up. So you're only bringing them back up to the starting position, which is directly above your shoulder. So try to keep the dumbbells apart on this. It makes it a lot harder. From the pullover, we're moving into a bent over row. So you're going to sit the hips back like you would in a deadlift. Feel the tension on the hamstrings. Back is straight. Think of chest up, pulling the shoulder blades back and down, elbow towards the hip. Really think of squeezing the shoulder blades at the top, control the way down. So this movement is forward and back, not up and down. You want to really think of pinching the shoulder blades together. So you start this movement through the shoulder blades and then the elbows follow. 10 to 15 reps. So the first exercise is kind of fatiguing your back a small bit, so you'll feel these a lot more. We're going with 3 sets of 10 to 15 on each exercise. So from this, we're going to move into seated reverse flies. So these are like lat raises where you're going out, but what you're doing is just getting your body position in a slightly bent over position. So think of pushing the chest into the knees, and then you're just going to lift outwards, not upwards. So think of away from your body. Try to keep that chest in the same position, so don't let your upper back lift. You should feel these in the back of the shoulders and mid back. So we're going 50 total reps. So a giant set like we did earlier on the hip thrust. It's 50 reps with as little rest as possible. So same thing, these are going to burn. You should feel a big burn in the back of your shoulders here. Just make sure you're lifting outwards. A lot of people will lift back here towards their hip. Really want to think of just getting the elbows straight out from your shoulders. You'll see there I had to stop and shake out a bit as it's burning. So if you do need to do that, do it as many times as you need. Often with this exercise, just 5 to 10 seconds of shaking out the shoulders will stop that burning. Then you can start again and keep going. So this next exercise is called Blackburn. So what we're going to do is hold this position. So we're starting, if you imagine the letter Y, you're just holding your hands up 15 seconds. Then we're going to move, so it's a minute long. There's 4 different positions. So hands up like a Y, moving down like a W. Think of pinching the shoulder blades in together here all the time. You see the elbow is directly out from the shoulder at a 90-degree angle. Then we're just moving the arms straight out. Keep those shoulder blades pinched together. So 15-second hold here. And then we're going to bring the next position, we're bringing the hands back towards the hip. Think of palms up to the ceiling. Bring them up as high as you can. Pinch those shoulder blades in together. So this is a minute long in total. And it will burn. This whole workout is basically one long burning session. So last exercise, we're moving on to the hollow rock. So you're going to start on the ground. Feet up, hands up. Keep that tummy crunched all the time. We're just going to hold this position. So to make it harder, the further your hands and feet go away from each other, the harder it is. So putting your feet more towards the ground, hands back towards the ground as well will make this harder. What you keep the shoulders lifted up off the ground. So think of hands straight up to the sky.